lived in Hume for quite a long time, too many years really. The reason Mothers Against Violence was formed back in 1999 was because of the gun crime that was happening here in Manchester. Okay, I think it started in London, lots of shooting in London, then it moved from London to Manchester. Manchester became so famous for killing young men, or young men killing young men, because, and it was called Gunchester, and it was because of that. Drugs, I think the main thing was drugs actually came into our community, and a lot of young black men who went to school and left school couldn't find jobs. That was one of the reasons. So it's easy for somebody to come up to you and say, well, you know, you don't have any money, you're not working, and somebody said to me, come and sell some drugs for me and you'll make money. And especially if you see them driving a posh car and they've got lots of money shaking about so that you can see it, you're thinking, wow. So that's what happened here way back in the 1998. I think it would have started with usually some people got machete, stabbed, and most of the time it was shootings. Okay? And that carried on throughout the years really. But Mothers Against Violence came together because my son was killed. He was shot and killed. And his friend came to my house and said to me, Mrs. Mackay, a group of mothers in the community are going to look at what they can do to stop what's going on. And he said, I think you should be there. He was about the age of my son. My son was 20 when he was killed, and this young man was his friend. And so he then came to me and he said, I think you should be there. And I think that's what got me more than anything else. Why does a young man come to me and said to me something and then said, I think you should be there? Obviously he knew my son and he was his friend. And my son wasn't a part of gangs, or he wasn't selling drugs. Not to be smoking weed, I don't know about that, okay. But he had friends all over. That was the other thing as well. So my son wasn't stopped from going anywhere he wanted to go. And that was one of the things about him. And when I listened to what the young people said about him afterwards, I realized that he was a very amazing young man. He was helpful, he was a giver, he would give things if he had it to give and that kind of thing. And so that made me think after the young man left. My son was shot and killed in 1999. And it was in August 1999, and it's not very far from here because I don't live very far from here. And a friend called for him that evening that he had not seen for a long while. And I remember when he walked into the house, I said to him, what's happened to you? Because they grew up together in school. We went to junior school together and then to secondary school together. And he said his car was in the garage, which for me was a very funny answer to a question about a young man who used to come to our house when he was 9, 10 and 11 and didn't have a car, but he came to our house anyway and was friends with my son. And so my son, he asked me whether Dory was in, so I said, I don't know, because I'd only just come in the house and I didn't know whether he was upstairs or not. And then a young girl came down the stairs, which was a friend of my son. They grew up together. And I said to her, oh, what are you doing here? She said, oh, I was just passing. And then I said, is Junior upstairs? We call him Junior, because he was called Dory, because his dad was called Dory, so differentiate. And so she said, oh yeah, he's upstairs. And so I told the young man to go upstairs, and he went up. My son came back and then said to me, he was a basketball player, a very good one too, he was signing up for a basketball club. And he came down and said to me, oh mommy, I'm going to practice, but I haven't got enough money. I've only got X amount, I need some money. So I said to him, well, I'm in the kitchen now doing food. Go to your sister was upstairs, she was working, she'll give you, because he didn't want a lot of money, maybe about 50 pence or something to go in. So he went off with him and he never came home. he was shot and killed. We had, that same night I was sat down and I think I dozed off a little bit, and then I heard a scream in the house, and then someone said, the girl said to my daughter, I think, spoke to her and said, "What's the matter?" And then she said, "Junior's been shot." And by the time I'd got to the hospital, my daughter left me in the house anyway because I was in shock, to tell you the truth. He actually got to the hospital and she came walking towards me and tears down and she said, "Mommy, Junior's dead." And that's what actually started Mother's Infant, and it wasn't I who started it. What then happened was the young man, one of his friends, came to my house one day after he died, maybe about, I don't even know whether it was a week since he died. And he said, "Mrs. Bukai," he said, "a group of mothers in the community are coming together to see what they can do to stop the shooting, because obviously," he was saying, "Junior shouldn't really be dead. He's, you know, I mean, he's not been doing anything. He's not like that." So I thought about it and I couldn't sleep that night. Amazingly so, I slept all the other nights after my son died, but that night I couldn't sleep because around my head was going, why does he think that I should be there? You know, I was a woman, you know, maybe about in my 40s, going up like that. And so I didn't sleep like that. So I turned up at the meeting, and it was a group of mothers, about 15, 20 of them. And that's how Mothers Against Violence started, really. What can we do to stop it? I don't know whether we can do anything to stop it, really. Knife crime is not new. People have always been killed and stabbed people with knives. Okay? And I think sometimes it makes it sound like it's just this big thing that has happened. I remember when I came here, I wasn't born here. I came here in '65. And at the time when I came here, there were the Teddy Boys. They would have even been born yet, yeah? And they used to have these flip knives, and they were always fighting each other, and some people got killed. And that isn't new either. If you go back, way back in the years, you do some research, you will find that that was a problem then too. I think it's always been a problem in life, with people and anger, and people getting angry for whatever things, or you've done something to me, you take away my girlfriend, or because I think that was what happened in relation to my son. Blah, 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 you know what I mean? And these are all the things that, you know what I mean, has caused people to become fearful and angry, and then sometimes do things that they really wish they didn't do afterwards. I mean, I can't believe so. Okay, so I really don't know if, in the sense that if we do this particular thing, that it will stop, because people will always carry knives.